Chatur is thinking of buying a home, but he knows negotiating price is a tiring job. So he came to me and said, I have built this amazing model which can predict price of a house from its size. I said, let's see it. What he has built is a linear regression model with size of house as feature and price of house as target variable. Linear regression basically means fitting a straight line to the labeled data. Now, there could have been many straight lines, but he chose only one out of all others. My question was, why only that straight line? He explained me that he calculated difference between actual price and predicted price of all the houses, and he picked that straight line where sum of square of these distances was minimum. Sum of squares so that positive and negative values don't cancel each other out. Fair enough, that is what we really want in a model, where predicted and actual values are close. This sum of squares of distances with some modification is called cost function, and we minimize cost function through something called gradient descent algorithm to find the best straight line fit. To gain in-depth intuition about cost function and gradient descent, please refer to my earlier video on linear regression, whose link is in the description. A straight line equation can be written as y equals a0 plus a1 times x. In our case, y is price and x is size of the house, which makes it price equals a0 plus a1 times size. I told Chatur that fitting a linear model is fine and all, but we can achieve better results if we try to fit a non-linear model to the data. He started wondering how can he fit a non-linear model, as he only knows equation of a linear one, which is y equals a0 plus a1 times x. I replied, there is no need to worry, linear regression is enough. Just do linear regression on square root of x rather than x by using the equation y equals a0 plus a1 times square root of x. Now fitting a straight line to y square root x pair is same as fitting a non-linear curve on y-x pairs with equation y equals a0 plus a1 times square root of x. All we require is to find the best fit by fine-tuning a0 and a1 to minimize the error terms, and you can achieve a better performing model by that. That's when it hit him. He thought, if I keep on adding more complex functions like exponential, logarithmic, sine of x and a lot of different degrees of polynomials, then maybe he can reduce the error to 0, which will make it a perfect model. And so he built this. This made the sum of squared error practically 0. But is this really a good model? Let's see, with the help of some new examples. We discover that the so-called perfect model will perform worse than the linear model. This problem is called overfitting, when your model fails to generalize and gets trapped to the noise in the data. There are mainly two reasons for overfitting. Either you have too many features compared to the training data, like you have 50 example houses, but 40 different features of the house, like its size, number of bedrooms, parking space, which tiles are used in it, etc. Or you have large number of complex polynomials, like what Chatur did. Either way, your model can overfit the data and will fail to generalize a true relationship between features and target. To identify if your model is suffering from overfitting, you need to split the labeled data into training and test set. Build the model on training set and check its effectiveness on test set. If there is a large difference in the performance between training and test set, then you know that overfitting is the problem, and you might want to reduce features or reduce number of polynomials or increase the number of training examples. There are also other ways to tackle overfitting, like using regularization, which you will see in detail in coming videos. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to this channel for more such videos. Have fun.